Hi guys, welcome back to week 2 of wait, what was this name called? CCL 2 Draft League, and today we're joined by Alan. It's my video now.
Yeah, so I have Keliyu with me on this recording. We're just gonna go over these battles. First up is me versus Meat. Uh, yeah, he's brought his Aurora Veil offense, hyper offense, you could almost say, if he didn't have Rotom Wash. I have my Ribombi with webs, and I have three defensive Pokemon, which is just semi-stall. Um, yeah, let's just get started. So he counter leads me on Scizor, which honestly I should have expected. He does get that bullet punch. I have focus sash, so it's not a big deal. I get my sticky web, and I just switch to CROCALOR because it can take it. So he is taking that life orb chip, which is pretty valuable for me because I'm just trying to chip him down with my stall team. Gastrodon switches in. It takes the Hydro Pump, so Storm Drain boost. Um, Now on this turn, I haven't revealed that I only have Earth Power, but he probably shouldn't have switched out because, of course, Gastrodon's dual stabs don't really hurt Rotom that much. Plus, Ice Beam coverage doesn't hit him at all. Um, I do think this was
Why'd
a
you
minor
decide to only
misplay.
put Earth Power?
What's up?
Why'd you decide to only put Earth Power?
Oh, I just figured hazards were more valuable in this game. Because I have Roar on Crocalor. So if I just keep roaring to switch him out, then he can't really touch me, and I get that valuable chip. Yeah, so I really wanted to show off Crocalor this match because I don't know, it's just a silly little guy. Okay, so yeah, his Scizor here. Uh, he has Defog, which I was not expecting at all. So yeah, all my hazards are gone, but I get big chip on Scizor, 50%. And he goes for a Swords Dance. Goes back to Rotom on the Earth Power. Good play by him. Um, At this point, I don't really have anything to hit him, so I just set up my rocks again. He goes to Ninetale, takes that rocks damage. I know he's light clay, because, yeah, you get more hazards up. And I go to Crocalor here. He does set up the Aurora Veil, which is not that bad for me because I'm running stall, so I can't really hit him anyways. I roar out to get the big chip on Mimikyu, which is really big because the more chip you get before disguise, the more damage, the less damage you have to deal through after its disguise is busted. So he Sword Dances twice as I roar him out again. I get more chip on his Walking Wake, which is really valuable because Walking Wake is probably the second biggest threat on his team after Iron Valiant. My Terra Fairy here to be immune to Draco Meteor, figured that would happen. Terra Blast is a big chunk through the screen as well. It's not even a crit. This is a not fully evolved Pokemon. This would have done 60% to Walking Wake. This Pokemon, it's not like evolved, but it's like incredibly strong. So he goes back to his Alolan Ninetales as I Terra Blast, which does 12%. Incredible. He does disable it, so I lose a turn there. And the Blizzard does 20% and freezes me, which is honestly not that big of a deal because he can't capitalize on this because anything he has to hit Crocalor, I just switch into Gastrodon on. So yeah, Ninetales also can't hit it. He loses his Veil next turn, or this turn, I suppose. And so he goes to Scizor here. He's probably looking to Bullet Punch. I burn a Freeze turn, which is useful, and I go to Gastrodon. As I said, he defogs my stones away. But at this point, I can just knock him out. So he goes for knockoff, which does huge damage and knocks off my leftovers. He goes down to his life orb, and I just set up stealth rocks at this point. Honestly, I didn't expect him to not run U-turn on Scizor, because he has no other really pivot Pokemon other than Volt Switch on Rotom. But yeah, it does pretty big damage. It does a lot to Gastrodon because not having that leftovers recovery ends up really helping him. Um, yeah, so the burn is going to start actually doing chip damage. Walking Away comes in here. Does go for Flamethrower. I'm max special defense, so I take nothing. And I just heal it all off. The Mimikyu comes back in on the spikes. Very good value for me. I recover again. He does Swords Dance here, but I Earth Power through to Disguise, so he can only take one more hit before he faints. And the burn is slowly chipping away, so he does go for the play rough. It does 50 again. A huge damage coming out from those huge threats, Scizor and Mimikyu there. But I do end up knocking it out, and he goes back to Ninetales, 2% health now. So I go back to CROCALOR just to burn those freeze turns. He blizzards for 23. If I don't thaw out in the next couple of turns, it could be an issue, but as you can see, I do thaw out on this turn as he sets up his Veil, and I get that heal from Slack Off. He disables my Slack Off, but I just Roar to switch him out. I opt for Roar here instead of Terra Blast because even though he has that free sack in Ninetales, I want to get the Stealth Rock chip across like his team, and also, especially if I can get Iron Valiant out with this Roar, it most likely can't touch CROCALOR at all because I have Unaware, and if I can get a Terra Blast on it or just a Will-O-Wisp, that can be really big value. So yeah, I do go for this Roar. Yeah, he burns my CROCALOR. It's not a big deal though. 15% through the screen, which is huge, obviously. And he goes for the Volt Switch here. He goes to his Ninetales and sacks it, which is a little bit of a meaningless sack, honestly, because I was just gonna roar out whatever came in anyways. He gets the Hydro Pump, does pretty big chunk, and I'd go for the Terra Blast back. Um, and yeah, Disable's gone, which is pretty good timing for me because now I can go back to the Slack Off and heal. So I do Slack Off, and we just kind of repeat this a couple of times. He Hydro Pumps, and I heal. And he Hydro Pumps, and then I heal. Unfortunately for me, none of his Hydro Pumps miss, but it doesn't end up mattering that much because I also burn his Veil turn, so at this point I can actually do pretty big damage with Terra Blast now. So he protects here, and I get Slack Off because I thought he was gonna Hydro Pump for the chip. So now I'm at full health. He goes to Walking Wake and sacks it. I was just gonna Terra Blast anyways because at this point I know anything he goes to is just going to faint to Terra Blast. So he Volt Switches, and here I Roar. On his Quark Drive boost, I Roar away his speed boost, which honestly doesn't matter, but I just wanted to get in his mind. I just wanted to show, like, yep, you're getting crushed by CROCALOR today. Yeah, so he's forced into Iron Valiant, and the Psyshock, it does nothing. I slack it off just because I want to, and Thunderbolt also does nothing, and I Terra Blast, and that's the game. So pretty convincing win for me. 3 kills from CROCALOR, 3 kills from Gastrodon. CROCALOR put in huge work this game. I'm very proud of it. Honestly, it's just an amazing Pokemon to have, especially for it being like a not fully evolved. If I had Skeledirge, this game could have played out differently because he has knockoff on Scizor. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with how this game turned out. Do you have anything to say?
Wolfborne kid got destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I didn't expect this team to work out that well, but I ended up using 3 Pokemon this game, so I'm pretty happy with that result. Alright, moving on, we have Mike versus Luke, who's now resorted to using this username. Oh wait, let's look at the teams first. Okay, so on Luke's side, we have a pretty offensive team. We have Keliyu, Roaring Moon, of course, huge offensive threats. Slitherwing does big damage. We have some defensive Pokemon in Volcanion and Gligar, and Venomoth with, I'm assuming, Quiver Dance, because that's mostly what Venomoth is good for. And on Mike's team, we have a pretty standard offense as well. Toxapex is a really good defensive backbone, of course. Yeah, let's go into it. Ceruledge on Keliyu. So, Ceruledge versus Keliyu ends up, I mean, Luke should just Dark Pulse here, but he goes for Flamethrower instead, which is like a pretty bad play. I'm not sure if he was expecting Mike to switch or anything, but he stays in and he tanks the close combat, which knocks him out with a critical as well. So he goes to Roaring Moon, second Dark type, with a Photosynthesis attack, and here he Terrors into Dragon, which is illegal, and he Acrobatics, which does big damage. Volcanion comes out, Moonblast, takes the Moonblast really well, actually. Um, and he switches to Toxapex on the Flamethrower. Good play. Earth Power, it ends up doing like a pretty big chunk, especially since it's -1 special attack on Volcanion, but he gets Toxic, which is pretty huge because Volcanion is his only check to really Enamorous, except Venomoth probably doesn't live a hit, so the Toxic chip damage is really important. So he goes for Flamethrower again, gets the burn, which is really lucky, because you really want that damage over time on Toxapex. He goes to Slitherwing here on the Toxic, and goes for the close combat. It does not very much. It does nothing actually. On the recover, heals it all off, and Slitherwing's going to start taking this poison damage. Goes back to Roaring Moon. Surf does very little, of course, because Toxapex. Dragon Dance is up. This boost ends up being pretty scary. Although Michael probably has Haze on his Toxapex, one hit from this Roaring Moon, if it's running Earthquake, it could just knock out Toxapex. I'm not sure, because I haven't run the calc, but this Roaring Moon is like a huge threat. So yeah, he does go for the Earthquake. It doesn't knock out, and the Haze gonna remove those stat bonuses, but another Earthquake would still knock out the Toxapex, so he switches out. Yeah, immune to the Earthquake. And yeah, he's starting to take this poison damage really tough. Moonblast does knock out the Roaring Moon. Goes to Slitherwing here, and it's also going to be knocked out by Enamorous. Volcanion switches in on the Pex, and it goes for a Sludge Bomb. Probably expecting to knock out the Enamorous there. But yeah, good switch in from Mike. Toxapex kind of walls his whole team except for, yeah, that one hit from Roaring Moon. But the Regenerator chip is going to be a lot. The Earth Power doesn't end up knocking out Toxapex though. He goes back to Enamorous here. The Moonblast does little, but Luke for some reason goes for Earth Power here. I'm not really sure about that, but he's kind of forced to switch into Venomoth because he'll die to Moonblast or the toxic damage next turn. So Venomoth takes the Moonblast pretty decently, but it does get the minus special attack drop, which is pretty unfortunate. And so he goes for Quiver Dance here, which would be good if the Enamorous wasn't Choice Scarf, which is what I'm assuming it is, because it did 15% to a Volcanion. But yeah, otherwise, this Venomoth probably, well, let's see. No, Regieleki is still faster, so yeah, it couldn't have won in the game. So yeah, the Moonblast is going to connect, knocks out the Venomoth, Gligar comes out. Enamorous hits Gligar for only 30, which I'm pretty surprised by, but it does start adding up in the double Stealth Rock. I don't know what that was about. Volcanion takes the hit, and it's going to die to poison. Enamorous, Mike keeps getting these special attack drops, but yeah, that last Moonblast is going to finish off the Gligar. Yeah, that's 5-0. Kelly, do you have anything?
No, it's just that Mike's the goddamn menace. I don't know.
Alright, so yeah, 24 turn game, pretty fast. Yeah, and honestly, Enamorous did super well this game. Could have been knocked out maybe once or twice, but I think once actually. But yeah, I did end up winning the game for him.
His whole team, right?
Sorry? Enamorous is...
Moonblast most of his right. He's
Moonblast is
been
what?
using it since like
Yeah, well,
he's been using Moonblast.
I assume that it's Choice Scarf because it outsped Venomoth +1. So,
Oh,
yeah, I assume it's Choice Scarf Moonblast, but it ends up tearing through or
no.
Luke's whole team, yeah. Okay, next game we have Kelly versus Veer. So, yeah, if we look at the team, Veer has a pretty offensive team. Bringing Ditto maybe to prevent like reverse sweeps and Driftblim. Yeah, Driftblim is a Pokemon. And Kelly, do you want to explain your team?
My team. So first of all, for my Great Tusk, I forgot to put Rapid Spin, but either way, I should not have played that bad. Goldango was meant to block whatever stuff he had for me. Grimmsnarl was meant to greens because he would one shot me for a lot of them. And the trick was not trick. What was it again? The thing that meant like the status move thing.
Oh, taunt, taunt,
Taunt
taunt. Yes,
was so that he would not put a bunch of spikes down, but I messed it up, so it's okay. Cloyster was just meant to do damage because it hit a lot of his team.
that's
Iron
true.
Moth was also meant to do damage. I decided to not switch into it because I'm smart. I'm stupid. And then yeah,
Yeah, alright. So,
Mascara was also yeah.
honestly, yeah, Cloister looks really dominant in this game because it hits Landorus Therian, it hits Ursa Luna, it hits Driftblim. It probably hits
Yeah,
Ditto because it learns Rock Blast. Like,
the problem is that it was way too slow too, and I did not take that into account. So
oh, well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you probably because Ditto kind of prevents that Shell Smash boost from coming into play. Yeah, we can just see how this battle turned out. So Grimmsnarl lead on the Greninja. He goes for Toxic Spikes first turn, so we understand that this is lead Greninja, and the play rough misses, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, really unlucky there. So Kelly goes for the Reflect, Light Screen, as Veer puts up all the spikes. Um, Wait, pause. I think, yeah, the taunt comes in a little bit late because two spikes are already up. But it does prevent the third layer, which does 25%, so it's probably the most important layer. Yeah, so he goes to Great Tusk, which is probably not a good play,
probably
because
the
if
best
you're
thing.
taunted, they can only attack, and assuming this is lead Greninja, you assume that they probably have Surf as water type stab. But it's okay because yeah. He goes for Ice Spinner. Do you have Earthquake? Kelly, do you have Earthquake on the Great Tusk?
Uh, I Oh wait. I think I did, but I took it out because I'm stupid. But
Oh,
wait, did I? Oh, I do.
oh, oh, maybe
I
just
don't know why,
notice.
because it would have. I had four other things to counter Greninja, and I did not switch into
Uh,
it.
yeah, maybe just playing in the heat in the moment, you kind of get mixed up.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
stupid.
well, that's like the same thing.
Greninja.
Anyways, the taunt into the Good as Gold. I often forget about Good as Gold as well. Dazzling Gleam goes in. Um, Not sure what I was expecting to hit, but it does crit, so the next one does secure the knockout. He does get the last layer of spike up. I think it KO'd anyways, actually. 20. Yeah, so Lando T comes in. You should be scared of Earthquake. Yeah, it does 20 to Cloister because of its huge defense stat. But the Reflect wears off here, which is really bad timing because you get knocked out by the Cloister. So Golden Go comes in. Apparently, this Landorus Therian is Scarf now because, you know. Oh, actually, you might not because max speed Lando T is faster than Golden Go. Okay, so yeah, Iron Moth comes in, absorbs the Poison Spike, and Quark Drive Speed comes up. Yeah, takes the Fiery Dance, gets the special attack raise, but you go down to Earthquake, of course. Masquerada switches in, and you get the Flower Trick. That should be a kill. Yeah, critical hit. It always crits. And Sneasler comes in, um, gets the spike damage. I think you probably died either way because Sneasler has a huge attack stat. Masquerada comes back in, play rough. Um, it does a huge chunk, but not enough to KO, and yeah, the Dark Claw is going to seal up that game. Do you have anything you want to say about this game?
Oh, I messed up. But
Yeah,
okay.
it's alright. It's one game, right?
You're pretty
So
good so far.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's all we got for week two. Uh, I look forward to playing you all in week three. I look forward to how your battles are going to turn out. Yeah, I'll catch you all later.